Okay, so today we're going to be discussing Chat GPT as it relates to financial advisement and financial planning. So we have with us Dan and Brian. What are some of the advantages of Chat GPT as it relates to financial advisement?
Okay. First, as we always say, hello, hello. This is Brian. I'm here with Dan, and some of the advantages. I think the biggest thing is it takes a mountain of information and condenses it into language that's easy to understand in a very, very quick time frame. Um, so Dan and I, obviously, when we're working with individuals and have a specific question, it may take us, you know, hours and hours to do research on a specific issue for a client. Where Chat GPT will really click in it, type the right words, and we may get the answer we're looking for in less than a minute. And for me, that's one of the bigger advantages. How about you, Dan?
Yeah. Hello, Brian. And our listeners out in the technology space here. It comes down again to maximizing technology, which we've been doing, since day one. Chat GPT is an extension of the things that we've already been doing, allowing it's a time savings mechanism, finding out about specific topics. For me, it's a usable Google search on steroids. Instead of getting 75 different pieces of information about Secure Act 2.0 on 2024 retirement plan catch-up contributions, it gives me a 750 word analysis of how that works. And so that would be something for regular folks, to set up a Chat GPT account and put those ideas that they're looking to evaluate into it. And it is very helpful and very useful.
Very good. So that definitely helps us understand some of the advantages of Chat GPT. We have convenience, we have speed, we have efficiency. Are there any other advantages that you could speak to?
Yeah, I mean, one of the other things is, which you always say, you have access to it 24/7. So, if you have a question at the middle of the night, and, clients a lot of times will email me at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'll email them back, during business hours. But with the service, like Dan said, you could put in some information. If something's on your mind, you could type it in and get that information within 30 seconds at 2 o'clock in the morning without bothering anybody. So I think that's also a huge advantage. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that those are excellent points. Another advantage is that it again allows people to participate in their own financial well-being and not get frustrated as easily, because that information is available at a moment's notice, and it's easily digestible. Yeah, the question is then, what do you do with it? But I think that anything that makes financial awareness, financial health more accessible and easy for folks to consume, the better off big picture they're going to be.
Very good. And what are some of the disadvantages of Chat GPT as it relates to financial advisement?
I'll start first with kind of like a disadvantage / advantage. And one of the things that a lot of people in our industry are afraid of, and we're not, which is called transparency. It will lead to a lot of transparent things in the industry that people will be like, huh, I didn't know that. Why is my person not doing that? Huh, that's an interesting, why am I paying that money for that? So, it's a disadvantage, other people in our industry, and that's kind of an advantage for the person. But like, I'll piggyback on what Dan said, and I'll let him finish up on that 100%. The big disadvantage is, okay, now what do you do with the information? Or that you got the transparency information that you're looking for, a question. now what do you do for it? And, Dan, go ahead and speak about that.
Yeah,
Some of
yeah.
the problems.
So yeah, right. I mean, the advantages, disadvantages, it really depends how you're looking at things. I mean, we were, and was an early adapter and have my own investment account with a robo advisor. So the advantages are the technology is great. The way that they deliver the service to me is outstanding. The reason that I signed up for it is you can't fight Mother Nature. You cannot fight technology. The disadvantage is it is just in that silo. And that's same thing with Chat GPT. It's not necessarily able to analyze other family dynamics. It's not able to analyze when you should take Social Security. If it doesn't know that maybe you're going to turn 62 and you've got kids who, if you turn it on, could then receive Social Security benefits off of yours. But does that really make sense? The disadvantages are that it is only coordinated with the inputs that you give it. And sometimes people don't really know what the right inputs are that need to go in to a robust tax and financial plan.
Yeah, and to that point, one of the biggest areas that we work on is tax planning or tax savings. And especially with small business owners and some individuals, the tax code, there's a lot of gray area. And ChatGPT is not really good with the gray area. So because they'll give you the information, but then you'll be like, well, does that pertain to me? How does it pertain to me? How does it pertain to my own specific, situation with regards to the IRS? So I think that's one of the areas where, people will really run into a wall where, like Dan said, it will tell you everything you want to know about the Secure Act 2.0, but how does that really benefit you? Well, if I do that, am I going to get audited by the IRS? Well, how much can I do on this situation? And small business owners are always asking us, okay, is this legal? Well, if you ask ChatGPT, they may say no, or they may say yes, and the IRS may have a different answer for you. So that's also another disadvantage.
Well, it sounds to me like WMGNA has embraced ChatGPT into your practice. What advice would you give to your listeners who are interested in knowing more about ChatGPT and how to use it, especially as it relates to the human touch?
The first thing would be that, there's unintended consequences to taking action based upon artificial intelligence. It is a double-edged sword. So informational purpose, I don't know. We have Chat GPT AI, I think is our account. I have it bookmarked on. It's free now. One of the things, it's great for information. The idea, though, that investors particularly can gain some advantage by having more information, in my experience, in the science behind that, is that you don't get any better results from being more educated on investments. Often the opposite happens, because if that was the case, you take it to its logical conclusion, then the most educated people on investments. Also, this is what most people I see using it for. They want some sort of excitement out of investments. They want to find a hidden gem or figure out how to get into private equity. Our philosophy, maybe primarily my philosophy, Brian's may be a little different, is that your investments need to come from your cash flow, your taxes, your goals and objectives, your risk tolerance. And then the rest of it should be as exciting as watching paint dry. Once you get those things down, and then update and review things when those things change.
Yeah, and also when you're speaking about investments, the advantage to using ChatGPT is, like Dan said, people just don't know what to do with it. Is, there's a professional institutional money managers out there that are using that to better their own returns. And that's why Dan and I, for the last 28 plus years, decided, to help clients, not manage money. So we outsource all of our stuff to institutional money managers. So we Our job is to go out and find, maybe there's 5 or 6 managers that are maximizing Chat GPT to their advantage and producing returns. But it's not an all or nothing situation where most clients will say, well, I'm managing my own money, I'm going to use Chat GPT. And before they know it, they're down 50% because they misinterpreted the information. Whereas Dan and I can go ask the manager specific questions, understand the technology, and then we're not putting all the client's money in the situation. We're putting some of it in the situation to make your overall portfolio a little better.
If you or someone near and dear is having trouble figuring it all out, don't worry. Go to WMGNA.com or call us today at 860-679-5255 to see how our subscription services can help you.